Now we're going to move on into section 3.5, where we talk about the ideas of equivalent statements and ways that we can change conditional statements. First, we're going to look at the idea of equivalency between statements, where what we're doing is seeing how we can adjust the wording of a statement, but maintain the truth value of it. And to do that, we're going to go back into music yet again, and here we're going to talk about the Grammys in 2017, where Kanye West was nominated for 8 Grammys and didn't win a single one of them. So, we could write a conditional statement here that says, if the musician is Kanye West, then they received 8 nominations in 2017 without a win. That's a perfectly fine conditional statement as it is. It's also a true conditional statement in this case. But there are a couple different ways that we can rewrite this to describe something that may be similar or may be different in some important ways. Where first, we can talk about rewriting this to say, if the musician did not receive 8 Grammy nominations without a win, then they are not Kanye West. It's a bit of a clunkier statement when we say it that way, but if you think about it carefully, the connection between these two is fairly clear, and you can see that they more or less refer to the same thing. They have essentially the same meaning, but one has kind of had a double negative thrown into it. From there, we can also think about another similar statement. If the musician received 8 Grammy nominations in 2017 without a win, then they are Kanye West. Or if you pay attention to this, what you can see we did is, from our original, we took the antecedent and the precedent, the antecedent and the subsequent, and flipped them. So we changed the order of the information. We went from a P then Q statement to a Q then P statement. Now, the Q then P statement is very similar, and it seems like it could be true, but if we go back and look at the ceremony in 2017, Kanye actually wasn't the only one who failed to win a Grammy in 8 nominations. Rihanna did as well. So it's not quite true in the same way. Next, we could look at something that takes that third statement and tweaks it a bit more, where we say if the musician is not Kanye West, then they did not receive 8 Grammy nominations without a win in 2017. This is kind of like putting those first 2 changes together, getting something else, and again, this looks like it's almost true, but if we pay close attention to that wording, this one's essentially the same as the second one, and as a result, we have the same counterexample in terms of whether or not it's true. Rihanna works for both. So, what these 3 things point out are examples called contrapositives, I've mentioned those before, as well as converses and inverses. And for now, we've got this example to sort of get the idea of what they are, but they're a little bit murky. And it'll take a bit more work with things like truth tables to actually unravel how they come together and specifically what they are. But for now, the main thing that I want you guys to get from thinking about these statements together is the idea of what are called equivalent compound statements, where the name equivalent tells you the flavor of the thing we're looking for. Well, a pair of compound statements are said to be equivalent if they have the same truth value. That is, one is true when the other is true, one is false when the other is false. They're consistent in that way, in the truth that they represent. They represent, in a sense, the same thing. And next, we're going to look at an example of how we can use this.